Okay, let's do more examples. Here I have prepared some examples template here for string attribute query in both database and shapefile, and we have numeric attribute query too. So here I have this string search. For example, on the database, we can run this query to select all the countries or all the customers from Germany. So I can copy this into the database. So countries, let me just remove the comment and then paste what I have there. So if I run, I'm getting all the customers that are from Germany, and we have 11 records. So on a shapefile, I just need this part to return the same number of records on the shapefile. So if I go back to the shapefile, do this, and then if I click on verify, it's okay. And as you can see, these are all the customers in Germany. How about if I want to return customers in Germany and Spain at the same time? So I can do it this way. Country, that's the country column, equals to Germany, or country column equals to what? Spain. I can now remove this and put Spain. So if I click on apply, I have more records. That is 16 of them. So country record equals to Germany, or country record equals to Spain. So if I go back to QGIS on the attributes table, I can query for the same thing. Country equals to Germany, or country equals to Spain. And then you can see that we have the same number of records, 16 returned. On the database too, I can do the same thing, where country is equals to Germany or country is equals to Spain. You can see we have the same number of records, 16, country, Germany, and Spain. So what if you look at what we have here, we can easily rewrite this whole expression as follow. Let me comment this out. Then on a new line, we can have, instead of have this repetitive code, we are calling the column name twice. We can just call it once. Then instead of using the equality operator, we can use another operator called in. Then inside parentheses, we can have the strings we are searching for. So country, select all records, all columns from customer table where the country column in Germany or Spain. So this is a better way, as we have removed redundancy from the code. So if I click on execute, the result will still be the same thing. So both this and this are the same as we saw in the previous video, but this is a better option, especially if you have more records to search. Let's assume we have about 5 or 6 countries. If we use this expression, it means we are going to have a lot of repetitiveness. We're going to call the column name about 6 or 5 times, but here we just call it once and then provide the strings inside parentheses. So if I go back to either ArcGIS, QGIS to make the selections, instead of having this, I can just rewrite it as this. So you can see the difference. Let's see if comment will work. So you can see comment is working in a QGIS, but comment will never work in a ArcGIS if you are working with a shapefile. So if I run, I can clear selection, then come back to the expression. So if I run, I will see have the same 16 results return. So I've commented out this and I'm using this, which is better way of writing this expression. But in ArcGIS, if I try to comment out this, and then on the next line, I'm now running the new command. This will not work. This will not work. So comment doesn't work here in ArcGIS. So unlike QGIS, comment work. And that's why I said QGIS is more flexible than ArcGIS or ArcMap when you talk about writing SQL expressions. I've removed the old code and this is the new one, and it should return the same records if you apply it. So here we have countries, customers from either Germany or Spain selected. So the next example I have here on my list is a kind of introduce you to case sensitiveness of string values. So USA in uppercase and USA in lowercase are not the same. So if I go back to, let me go back to my database here. I'm going to clear this. So here we are selecting all the columns from the customer table where the country is equals to USA, or the country is equals to USA in small letter or USA in capital letter in uppercase. If I remove this, well, let me just run it and see what we have. So we have 13 records. So if I remove this part and run it, I still have 30 records. But if I change it to lowercase USA and run it, I see that I have no records. Even though I know that there are some customers from United States, but the spelling, the case is different. So on the database table, we have USA as uppercase. So when you are querying for lowercase, you won't get the results. So have this at the back of your mind that the records on the database are case sensitive. USA in uppercase and USA in lowercase are not the same. So let's demonstrate that on a shapefile. So on the shapefile, if I select, let me clear the selection, select countries. From the country column, I'm selecting USA in lowercase. Click on verify. Yes, it's a good expression. Apply it. You see that we have just two records. The first one is this, and then the second one is this. So these are the only two records that have our customers' country USA written in lowercase. But if I change it back to uppercase, the uppercase USA in uppercase, you will see that we have more countries and the lowercase is not selected. So if I wish to select both, I can use this expression. Either I do this and then using the OR operator, then I have this in lowercase. So country equals to USA in capital letter, or country is equals to USA in lowercase. Apply. You see that I have 13 countries and both USA spelled in uppercase and lowercase are selected. And remember that this is not a good way to write it, but for a relatively small number of data, you can easily use this. The proper way to write for a more faster query is to use the in operator. So country in, then inside this parenthesis, you can now have the two such strings like this. So the first one is USA in uppercase. Then the second such string is USA in lowercase. So this should return the same results. So let's clear the selection and then click on apply. You have the same results. So if I go back to QGIS environment and clear the selection, then here I can use the comments to comment this out, and it won't affect my code from running. So country in USA uppercase or USA lowercase, it will select both for me. So here I have 13 records, as you can see selected. If I decide to remove this first one, so I'm only searching for just USA in lowercase, you see that I have just two records selected, this and this. So I can comment this out. This comment is not possible in ArcGIS, but we have the privilege of using it in QGIS. So the next example I have on my list here is, we have already seen this. So this is what we did in database, and this is the equivalent in a shapefile. Already string search for specific column, already you have seen this. This is not possible when you're working with a shapefile, but it is possible when you're working with a database. That is, you select specific columns. Instead of using star to select all the columns, you can use the column names to select specific columns. Maybe column 1, then column 2, then from the table name, where clause, and then country is equals to USA. So the next example here I have is a partial string search. So you can search for specific character either at the beginning of the string, or at the end of the string, or even at the middle of the string. And that is what this example is all about. And let me demonstrate it for you. So here, the first example here is, remove this and paste. So I want to select all the columns from customer table where the customer name, that's the customer name field or column, like. So this is an operator, like L, and this is a wildcard. So this wildcard is just saying that where we have L at the beginning of the string customer name. Let me run the result so that you see what I'm talking about. So this column customer name is this, and as you can see, it returned customer name. It returned only the customer names that have L at the beginning of their names. So this is the customer name column, and this is the customer name column, like L at the beginning of the names. So this percent is just the wildcard used for searching for like characters. So it's used for searching like characters. So let me change this, so maybe like A. So let's see whether we have customers that have their names starting with E on our table, because we have about 4 customers starting with E. So let's see whether we have customers starting with S. So I have about 7 of them starting with S. So that is the usefulness of like, and then using it with a like character. So this is useful when you don't know the exact name of the customer you're searching for, but you know the starting character of the name. Let's try for E. So we have just 2 customers that have their name starting with E. So this is how it is used. So you can use this on a shapefile. but it doesn't work in ArcGIS. So customer name like L in ArcGIS, the expression was verified successfully. Okay. I think the other time I tried it, it wasn't working, but here I can see it's working now. Okay. Yes, it works. It works in ArcGIS. Let's see auto convert cases. Okay. Okay, ArcGIS does not support auto conversion of cases. Okay. Okay, actually it is cases. Let me see. So now if you go back to this, so we have two customers that have their name starting with E in capital case. Let's try E in lowercase. So you can see it works. The keys are converted on this database. So if I try S in small case, in small letter, in a lower case, it is converted. Okay, that is what works. Okay, this doesn't work in ArcGIS. So if I try it in uppercase, it will still return the same amount of number. Okay, this doesn't work in ArcGIS. So instead of using capital letter L, let me use small lowercase l, and if I try to apply it, it will work. You can see no record was selected. But if I change it to lowercase if I change it to uppercase L, it returns these records. So that is what I'm referring to here. ArcGIS does not support auto conversion of cases. So this case is not supported in ArcGIS. But in QGIS, you can use both lower and upper cases. So customer name like L should return 9 records as seen. So this is the customer name starting with L. So if I clear the selection and then I change this to lower case L, also it doesn't work here. So this auto conversion tool of cases doesn't work. So I have to use capital uppercase L to get the result. So shapefile doesn't support this kind of conversion. Now let me see the virtual layer. Let me try the virtual layer whether this will work on the virtual layer. I'm going to comment this out, and then I'm going to add the select where clause. So let me just select all the columns. So select start from customer where customer name like L in capital letter. Execute. We should have 9 records that have the customer name starting with L. So let me try it. Let me say P. Okay, we have 4 customers that have their name starting with P. So let me try lowercase l instead of the uppercase. Let's see whether we are going to have results. So you can see this, the auto conversion was possible when using the virtual layer because it behaves just like the database. So these are some little area of confusion that usually arises. So let's move on. So you can try some of these other examples by yourself because we won't have the time to do all that. So like this, we check for the character at the end. When the wildcard is coming before the letter, it means it's going to check it at the end. But if the wildcard is coming on both ends, it means it's going to check it at the middle. So this will return the customers that have their names starting ending with T. So if I go back here, I can easily remove this, and then let me remove these codes to be sure. So customer name like T, wildcard T, starting ending with T in this case. Let's see how many records we have. Yes, and if we check, you see that all these are customers ending with T. The customer name have their names ending with T. So the same thing too if I do it on the database. Select, remove this, and then paste what I have here. And then you can see we have all the customers ending with T. So the other example too, the last example is at the middle. I can comment out this, then add the last example. And then here I'm just checking for the customer name that have T at the middle of their names. So if you check here, you see that we have T at the middle. Here we have T for the customer name column. So here too we have T somewhere at the middle here. So here too we have T somewhere at the middle. So we have about 60 customers that have T at the middle of their name. What about Z? Let's say customer that have Z at the middle of their name. We have just 5 of them. So this is the usefulness of this wild character search. So that is that for this partial characters string search. Then we can do also what we know as compound searches. For example, like this expression. It's quite a lengthy one. Let me copy it to the database so that I will explain what we have there. So this is selecting all columns from the customer table, where then in parentheses we have the customer name. That's the customer name column like L, that's starting with L in this case, or customer name column like R, starting with R, that we are combining through wildcard search expressions here. So either the customer name start with L or R, or the customer name start with W, and the country is USA. So this is a compound expression, SQL expression. So let's run it and see what we have. So we have just 5 records, and all the records would have satisfied these conditions. So the customer name like L, yes, this are satisfied. Or the customer name like R, starting with R character. So these are satisfied. Or the customer name start with W character. So this is satisfied. And the country, this is an operator and operator. The country must be USA in capital letter. So this is it. So you can easily rewrite this in English. It will help you to get acquainted with the SQL expression itself. So the equivalent of this expression on a shapefile is this. So if I copy this, I can go to ArcGIS or QGIS to run it. So here I'm on QGIS. So the customer column, the customer name column starting with L, or the customer name column starting with R, or the customer name starting with W, and the country is USA. If I click on verify, so it's a verify expression. Apply, you can see we have 4 records that met this criteria. So the same thing too in a QGIS environment. You can comment out this and then clear the selection. So if I paste the expression here and then execute it, you can see we have the same 4 selected. So the reason why we have 5 here, we have 5 records here, and on the shapefile we have 4, is because one of the countries, obviously one of the countries has been changed to lowercase a, lowercase USA. So if I decide to add lowercase USA to this string search, probably we'll have the same number of records. So let's say country in, then in parentheses, I will have a lowercase USA and then the uppercase USA. So let me clear this selection and then let me rerun this. So you can see we have 5 selected this time around because I changed the character, I changed the USA of some of the customers to lowercase just to demonstrate the differences between the upper and then the lowercase characters. So here I've added it. So if I click on apply this time around, we should have 5 records selected, just the way we have it on the database here.